Howdy folks, welcome to the video. I'm James. Welcome to Terrific Tuesday. I'm going to go through these charts very quickly with you, but just very quickly because I want to give you an idea of sort of how I briefly first glance at the market, and I went through all the details of this yesterday in the live stream. So I'll link that live stream at the end of today's video, but I just want to run through things very quickly and give you an idea of my first glimpse or my first thought when I switch on my charts early in the morning. So here we go. I've got the crypto charts up here. And my first thought is Bitcoin's holding up pretty well. My target remains the same. I'm looking for a continuation of this bull flag. There's the bull move, bull flag. That's a very small bull flag within a much bigger move. And both of these moves point out to the same level at about 136,000. A lot of people believe that in this sort of cycle, there's another higher level that we should aim for, and that's 160,000. And I think both of these are quite plausible. So I'm long from in the mid-80s, still holding, but I've hedged 30% of my position. I'll hedge another 30% here at 136, and then I'll probably complete the hedging. In other words, completely hedge the remainder at 160 if we get there. So as Bitcoin rises, the other altcoins will rise as well, I imagine, and we're trading Ethereum and XRP. I have two recent positions, one over there on Ethereum and one over here on XRP. Ethereum's holding up really well, busting up through that pretty important resistance level. And if we hold there this week, we could see a lot more in Ethereum. We're right at the top of this range, and as I pointed out, it's actually more of a triangle, and it's a massive triangle. And I thought we might not have enough steam to break out through the top. So we did pull back a little bit. We took advantage of that. Not a lot. A little bit of a pullback, and I'm hoping now for a bust up through the top sometime this week. We'll need Bitcoin to get going if that's going to happen, and then XRP also pulled back much more than Ethereum, but only to the 20-period moving average. We managed to get one more long tranche in there at that pullback. I noticed that even though XRP pulled back to the 20-period moving average and Bitcoin did, Ethereum did not. So Ethereum's the queen of the dance floor right now. We're still fully hedged on gold, looking for this to move down, and I do believe that we've broken down through the sort of patterns. So right now, unless we find support at this conglomeration, consolidation, heavily traded zone and move back through the top of the triangle, paths B and C are in play. And in order to get path A back in play, we've got to get back inside the triangle and then back above it, a pullback and then a launch. My personal feeling is that path B is the most likely and path C is the most hopeful. And path B, even though we're well positioned for all of them, path A rather, is the one that I'd prefer the least. I'd like to buy some more gold further down. I imagine there are a fair number of hedge funds, banks, and other investors who are waiting for that pullback. Perhaps they've been locked out. Going across the stocks very quickly, I'm just really covering the main headlines today. New highs on the S&P and the NASDAQ, new all-time highs, surging, moving up. I've got targets above us. We're long on both of these now, from quite a long way down now, almost 1,000 points on the NASDAQ. And my targets are up here at these lines. First of all, about 24.2, then maybe 24.5, 24.8, and maybe at the extreme 25 something. We're heading that way. And also I pointed out on the S&P yesterday in the live stream and also over at Ola Prime. By the way, folks, you can get me live every morning at Ola Prime TV at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And I postulated that this path, this exponential rally, is quite possible and even probable, plausible. And that would take us up to 6,800 and this Fibonacci confluence, and potentially there's also the channel top well above us and another fib at about 7,000. But that's very, very high up and a long way in the future. For now, we're sort of focusing on what's going on right here, and we're long on the S&P too. And let's zoom in, and you can see where we got long at the bottom of that ledge like the NASDAQ. And we've broken up through that top line into the first fib confluence resistance level. And as I drew out in advance, we pulled back a little bit, back down to the trend line, and the next move might be up. Let's just move the scale up a wee bit, and you can see where we are, and a bit of a pullback, maybe a little bit further today. We did close that breakout gap yesterday, so that doesn't need to be done anymore, and maybe we just keep going from here. So we're long on the NASDAQ, long on the S&P, and I'm also long on MSTR, Tesla, looking to get long on Alphabet, Google, and I'm short on NVIDIA. That's bust up a wee bit overnight, and we're going to have to hedge that at the market open. On currencies, euros selling off heavily yesterday as the dollar rallied, not so much the pound. We're long on the pound, so I'm going to give this one some encouragement. We're long again from yesterday. We got long at the bottom of this move. We did dip down today, down to the 100-period moving average, and I'm hoping that we'll find support here. I continue to think that the dollar's got another 5% down to go, and that the currency majors will rally up by 5%, and that this is just a consolidation and a regathering of strength. We're also short on the dollar yen. That's not moving down much, but we've got a potential bear flag, and I've got a potential path drawn out, a little bit squonk. Let's get this one beautified down to there. And my target for this one is a breakdown through the channel bottom here after bouncing around this channel center line, and then eventually down through this very, very key and major support level, en route to 127 eventually, and then down into the low 120s. That might take us towards the end of the year to achieve. We're also long on the Aussie dollar, and we're short. And eventually, the euro yen and the pound yen pulling back today after this tape measure-like channel has flopped over at the end. Big bearish engulfing candle after retesting the channel from underneath. Big bearish engulfing and dark cloud cover candle. We are resting on the 20-period moving average, and believe it or not, the Bollinger Band top. We're so far outside the Bollinger Band, we'll have to get through there today, and also this horizontal support level. And then going across to energies, and I'll finish with this today for this quick video. We're still long on UEC, no trades on URA just yet, looking to get into that. We're still short on WTI oil. I'll refer you to the live stream yesterday. I'll link that at the end of this video. Looking for a move down to about 55 and below eventually. That'll take some time too. And then natural gas, finally, I'll finish off with this one, maybe. We'll see if we can fit some more in quickly at the end. We got another long position down there at the bottom yesterday. I posted this up on X and also in my private group, obviously, and we've bounced up from there. So do we have a double bottom? I don't know. If we hold here above $3, I'll be looking for a move back up to 4, and then potentially beyond that. If we don't hold $3 and we close beneath 295, where my hedge will be, then I think we're going down to 250 and potentially 220, maybe even 210. So $3 remains the key level. Perhaps we've got a double bottom here on the futures and we're bouncing back up. We've got a big order block, the 20-period moving average, and loads of resistance above us to get through. We do have a gap over here which may need to be closed at some stage. Keep an eye on that. And it also happens that this channel line dissects the gap right through the center. So that'll be an interesting zone if we get there. All right, let's quickly go to the other page. We're still long on the dollar South African rand. Big rally over the last few days. Beautiful. Looking good. I'm hoping for this to get back to 20. We're currently trading at 18. We also have a long position on TLT. You can see my entry arrow there, looking for this to move up to about 100 to exit, somewhere up into those higher regions. And then on the VIX, we have no trades. I'm looking for this to get back down into the buying zone. I only trade this several times a year, and only in the green zone, and only long, and as close to the bottom as possible. Hope you enjoyed the video, folks. Please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. I'd appreciate that. And if you'd like to catch me live again today, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time at Ola Prime TV, I'll see you there. Take care.
I'm James the Hedgehog, sharp with the spread. Spikes on my back, Bloomberg in my head. Small frame, big brain, live on the floor. Running these charts like a four-legged law. Delta neutral when I strut the ring. Arbitrage flex with a volatility swing. You panic in red, I sip tea in green. Wrist so tight, it squeaks on screen.
The hedge fund funk, he don't play no game. Sharp little creature in the capital lane. Market rolls over, he curls up tight, then pops out, swinging with the breakout bite. A hedge fund funk, spines